What's up, everyone? Welcome to Money Mondays. This is a brand new feature to the Dentistry Invest group that will put pounds in your pocket through teaching easy, practicable, and actionable steps. Not for anybody, not just for any old person who's walking down the street, but specifically for you, specifically for dentists. Like I say, to put pounds in your pocket starting tomorrow. This is as distinct from Thursday Thoughts on Investing. That's more the long-term stuff. These are things that you can use tomorrow, as I say, to become more wealthier and bring forwards that date where you can seek financial freedom. And that's why I've created them. So looking forwards to this being a regular feature on the group. This will be released every single Monday, as I say, and it will take the form of a presentation and me giving everybody who's watching helpful tips that you can use to begin making more money tomorrow. Not just in the world of finance, but also in the world of dentistry as well, because we're homing right in on you, homing right in on dentists, so that they can have actionable steps for them to increase their wealth. And then, as I say, that just makes them even more hyper useful and relevant to the members of this page. So without prattling on any further, let's go ahead and jump straight in, because the very first webinar, the very first thing we are here to talk about is the psychology of selling. Not financial advice. This one is not really about finances so much. This is more about intuition. This is more about building your ability to orate and speak to your patients. And what that means is that you're a better communicator, and then therefore you're better able to serve those people. And the more someone relates to you, the better that you can talk, the better that you can explain what you are able to do, then the more likely someone is to buy from you. And that's how we must be seeing selling. That's how we must be seeing it. Because after all, it is a little bit of a reframe. Most people, there's a negative connotation around selling. I'm just talking about communication effectively. The best communicators are also the people who are best at selling, but we have to do it earnestly, always, always, always. Here's something I was guilty of for a long time in dentistry. I was so guilty of projecting myself and my personality onto the patient, and not everybody reciprocates that. Not everybody matches that energy. Not everybody communicates like that. And what I always found was I was able to communicate the most effectively with certain types of patients, people who had certain types of personalities, but not the other types of patients. And what that meant was that it was meaning that I had a lot of patients who weren't taking me up on treatment plans until I started to understand the stuff that I'm about to reveal in this webinar. And a lot of you watching this today, this is an effective system that anybody can use to begin to communicate to their patients more effectively. The things that you say, but the things that you don't say as well, how you conduct yourself, how you carry yourself. And then what that means is that you're more able to talk to those patients, and therefore they're more likely to want to work with you. And here's the thing I noticed about loads of dentists. Lots of dentists are really good with their hard skills, their skill with the drills, so to speak, but soft skills and speaking, I 100% think there's a lot of development that should happen on that front. Only so that those dentists who have the best hard skills are the most able to are more equipped to communicate to their patients, because otherwise people will never take you up on your ability. That doesn't mean anything to the patient. They have to be able to relate to you. But if you have the ability to sell, you must use that power and that ability with honesty, with integrity, and with the sole aim that you know that you are the best equipped person to help that patient. And that's how you use that power responsibly. It has to be done from an ethical standpoint. And like I said, we tend to project. So the aim, what I will give you today, is the ability, the insight, the awareness to not project your personality onto other patients and to see it through their eyes so much more, because then you're a better empath, a better person that is able to be empathetic. And what that means is that you can communicate more effectively, not just with your patients, but also with other people as well. The figures are stark. You may be communicating with 6% of people effectively, only 6%, depending on your personality type. You can be the best dentist in the world, but a poor communicator. What if your hard skills are really good, but your soft skills are bad? No one's ever going to take you up on your treatment plans. What if your soft skills are really good, but your hard skills are bad? People are going to take you up on the treatment plans. But however, you're not going to be able to fulfill at the back end rather than the front end. Now, you'll find that most dentists have the hard skills, but their soft skills can be improved, they can be worked on, and that's the point of this webinar, to bring everybody's soft skills up to the level of their hard skills, because that is something that we're not taught in university, and we've got to try to see it from others' perspective. We really do, and that's going to make us much better at communicating. So here's a simple system that anybody can use. Now, you may have seen this before, but we're going to go into further detail. There's actually 4 fundamental personality types. And when someone points this out to you, you'll find it hard to unsee it, because you can recognize this in every single person. Every single person on the face of this earth has a primary color according to this system: red, yellow, green, blue. And that corresponds to dominance, influence, steadiness, and conscientiousness. Now, the people towards the top are more extroverted, the dominant and influencing people. These people down here, they're more introverted. The people on the left are more task orientated. They like to get the job done. The people on the right are more people orientated. They're more conscientious when it comes to people. They're more thoughtful in that respect, naturally. Now, that's not to say that a blue can't become a yellow and a yellow can't become a blue. There'll be one primary color in here that each person on this earth identifies with, and that will be their primary color. However, they may have elements of the other color. So what does red mean? What does dominant mean? Dominance is that person who's very time orientated. They're just there to get the job done. They maybe own a business. They're very task orientated. They are very aware and conscientious of time. They don't like unnecessary frivolous P's and Q's. They just want the information, bang, bang, bang. They want the options, and they want to know what the odds are of it working, or the odds of success are. Yellow people, they're hyper friendly, extroverted people. They're really conscious what others think about them. They're there, they want to make other people happy. They want to make other people smile. They want their energy to be matched, because they find it hard to relate to other people. They really clash with red people because they can't understand why these people sometimes come across rude. These people don't always intend to be rude. Actually, they're just there because they're on a time limit, effectively. Well, they are on a time limit, and what that means is that they've got less time, they've got less of an urge, they feel less of a necessity to be hyper friendly. They're people who have different priorities, shall we say, and these people, red people and yellow people, have polar end of the spectrum's priorities. You'll find that about 6% of people are red, that's their primary color. You'll find that about 20% of people are yellow. Then moving down here, we've got the steady people, the steady eddies. They're the people that they like routine, they like consistency, they like 9 to 5, they like getting up and doing the same thing day in, day out, and moving steadily towards a goal. They don't like that to be disrupted. They're nice people, they're friendly people, they're introverted, however, so they're not always people that are willing to come out of their shell, especially on first introductions, first occasions that you meet them. So we have to be conscientious of that, not to push them too much, definitely not to give them too much energy, because they might feel a little bit intimidated. Blue people, conscientious people, they love detail, they love information. They are the people that will geek out on every single bit of information you can give them about the dental procedure. That's their way of control. They have to know everything that's going to happen. They have to know everything that's going on. They think about things. They almost think about things a little bit too much, insofar as it holds them back from achieving their objectives, because they spend most of their time overthinking things rather than just doing. There's a huge thing to be said in life for just doing things and then figuring it out later, with a little bit of thought, of course. We don't want to jump into things blindly, but certainly overthinking is a real problem, and these people tend to suffer from it. So that begs the question, how do we communicate to these people effectively? Because this is something that will literally put pounds in your pockets and zeros on the end of your paycheck at the end of every month. And when I say that, I mean that, because when I didn't know this, I was not communicating well with patients. I couldn't figure out why. I thought it was them, when in actual reality it was me. I should have taken the onus or the burden of the understanding on myself rather than projected it onto them. There's always going to be a lesson in there somewhere. There's always going to be a way that you can improve in every single patient interaction, and that's the level of accountability we have to hold ourselves to. And trust me when I say this is powerful, this is massive. Dominant people, red people, like I say, very task orientated. They want to get the job done. Maybe they're in a hurry. They've got other stuff to do. We need to understand how to communicate to these people, because if we've got lots of energy and we're super friendly, we'll irritate the heck out of these people. And what I want you to do is I want you to attempt to profile every single person who walks through your door, put them into one of these categories based on their demeanor, based on how they act, based on what they say, and then adjust your behavior appropriately. And you'll find that so many more people begin to reciprocate with you. So many more people just begin to become friendly and warm to you in ways that you didn't even think were really realistic, or at least certainly previous to knowing this information. It's so important. It's so useful. How to sell to a red. Golden rule. Once you figure out that they're red and they're task oriented, please do not try to be over friendly. And I used to suffer from this big time, because I used to basically come in, be hyper friendly to these people, and you could just tell there was just they weren't exactly loving it. They weren't exactly enjoying it. And the second that you know that it's because they're actually in a hurry and their priority is not P's and Q's, is the second that you realize how to adjust your own behavior. And that doesn't mean that you be rude to them. All it means is that you deliver the information on what you need to say. Bang, 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 bang. Don't miss a beat. Don't skip a word. Do not be intimidated by these people. That is another thing that they will not enjoy as well. You need to be assertive, but not confrontational. And if you can do that, you'll notice that these people, you'll be able to communicate with them so much better, because you're speaking their language effectively. Classic sign of a red person. The patient walks into the surgery, they'll say, how long are you going to be? I've only got 15 minutes. And you say to them, I only need 13. That's like their oxygen. They'll love that. If you mumble, if you stumble over your words at that point, you'll lose their respect. You'll lose credibility in their eyes. You need to be bang on with your delivery. And also, when you say you're going to do something, be punctual. Do everything that you can to deliver on the promises that you made, and save these people time, because that is their oxygen. Matter of fact, speak clearly. Always speak clearly. Assertive if you have to. Just match them. Just match their energy, but don't overdo it. That's the line that we have to walk. And the second you start seeing this in people is the second that you can communicate with these people so much better, and you'll begin to notice that your treatment plans for these people go up a lot as well. You have to be confident in your delivery. Influencing people, yellow. These are the big out there people, loads of energy. They come in, they're making jokes, they've always got a smile on their face, they're happy, they're positive. These people, best thing to do, match their energy. If they're super positive, super happy, be super positive, super happy to them. Make jokes with them, do whatever it is that they do. Make sure that you are aligned with them in terms of how you speak, in terms of your delivery, on what you say, what you do. These people are not so detail orientated. They don't really care about the specifics. It's more the outcome that they're interested in. So you focus on the outcome of the treatment. Naturally, you have to consent them perfectly, as you do. Always informed consent. It must be completed. However, spend more time than you would do normally focusing on the outcome of the treatment, and these people will sign up to your treatment plans like that. So if you're selling them whitening, talk about how their teeth are going to be whiter afterwards. Relate it to something that they've said. Mrs. Jones, your teeth will be white, and they'll be white in time for your wedding, so that when you smile, you'll have a beautiful smile. You'll be able to enjoy the day, and you'll look amazing in the photos, and you can look back on those photos with a big grin on your face, because I know how good that is going to look. Something like that. Maybe I overcooked it there a little bit, but you get the idea. Sell them the outcome. Radiate positivity. This doesn't always come naturally to every single person on this planet, which is fine. However, for these people, for yellows, that's what they look for. If you don't match their energy, the one thing about yellow people is they're slightly insecure whenever it comes to their own, how they are and how people relate to them and how they come across. If they think that if you're naturally someone who's not as talkative, not as high energy, they might think that you have taken a dislike to them, in which case they'll be less likely to want to work with you. So don't give them any room to think that. Match them, match their energy, be friendly, be positive, because these people, sometimes they can have a little bit of an insecurity if people are perceived to be not on their not matching them, not interacting with them. They might think that they have irritated you. They might become a little insecure over that, and then they'll be less likely to want to work with you. Steadiness, green people, these are about 70% of people. The majority of people on this earth are green people. They like steadiness, they like consistency, they like to know the information of the treatment, but they don't like to know it in too much detail. It's not sufficient. They want to change their teeth, their smile, whatever. That's why they're there. You have to emphasize that you're going to do it at a slow rate and that they're going to be in control the whole time. That's what they love. They love control. They like steadiness. They need to trust you big time, build rapport with them, go that extra mile to be nice to them. Niceness and kindness is their energy, is what they love the most, is the thing that they enjoy. So that is something that you want to project. That is something that you want to show them. They love certainty. Give them this. This is their language. Talk about the treatment. Talk about how you're going to do it at their pace. They're going to be fully in control. They will have the final say on every single detail, and talk about how you're going to walk them through the treatment hand by hand, step by step, not do anything in a hurry, and also deliver on your promise as well, because they like certainty in outcomes. But of course, naturally, we have to counterbalance that with the fact that we have to let them know there's a possibility that something mightn't work. But instead of saying there's a 7% chance it's going to fail, say there's a 93% chance it's going to work. Leave it at that. That's all you have to say. Focus on the positives. Conscientious, blue. How to sell to a blue. These people love information. They'll ask so many flipping questions. They want to know every single detail with precision. Give them lots of opportunities to ask questions. Absolutely hundreds of opportunities to ask questions. Keep asking them as you go along. Did that make sense? Did you grasp that? Still with me? Etc. Match their energy. Take your energy right down for a blue and a green person. Speak to them like this. Say, hello, Mrs. Jones. How are you? It's lovely to see you. Definitely not loud. Definitely not brash. Definitely not those heightened, elevated energy levels that you might use to interact with a yellow person. Match their energy. Be composed. Always, always, always composed, especially for the green people as well. Remember, take the energy right down. Do the opposite of how I'm delivering this webinar. Basically, take the energy right down, and you will find that they resonate with you so much more, and they warm to you, because they quite often are timid people. They're quite often people that if you go in there all guns blazing, they will be a little frightened. Perhaps they're on edge already because they're slightly outside their comfort zone. You have to be seen as the nice dentist, the friendly dentist, someone they can talk to, someone they can communicate to, and always, always, always give them as much information. Information is their method of control. If you say to them, why are you asking so many questions? That is the worst thing you can possibly do for a blue person. Or if you try to fob them off somehow, I would never do that. If they want more information, say, absolutely, my friend, no problem. How about after work, I call you, we can go through everything in minute detail, and I can promise you by the end of that, you'll understand absolutely everything, and we'll keep going until you get there. Mr. Smith, Mrs. Jones, whoever is sat in your chair at that moment. That is how you sell to these people. That is how you work with them. That is what makes them really like you. Because how many times in the past would someone have went out of their way to call these people after work? They will love that. They will love the fact that you went the extra mile for them and explained everything in great detail. Everything. Summary. So, excuse me. Got to see selling is serving. Assess patient's demeanor is massive. Excuse me. Assess their patient demeanor is absolutely huge. Your assessment begins as the patient walks through the door, even before the patient walks through the door. See how they carry themselves. See what level of energy they have. See how they speak. As well as that, you might even ask your receptionist to profile them before they walk in as well. You might ask them to give you a debrief on them, or a little bit of an understanding of their background, what they've said, who they are, etc. Very useful stuff. Also very useful for the green people and the blue people if the receptionist bigs you up big time beforehand and says things like, oh, yeah, this Dr. Martin, Dr. James, he's amazing. He's done this, he's done that. He helped my daughter do this. Obviously, all truthful, but just reaffirming for them that you're somebody friendly and definitely heightening the anticipation that they're going to like you before you walk in. It's a huge thing. It makes them feel like they know you before they even know you. As well as that, content is massive for that as well. Just throwing it out there, guys. Anybody doesn't create their own content, I 100% believe that everybody on this earth should make their own content about something they love. Please consider it, especially for your dental practice. As well as that, for green people and blue people, it can be great to drop them a list of prices beforehand so they know what to expect, because then there'll be no surprises when they come to sign the treatment plan. 100% worth considering. You want 100% of your patients who sit in your chair for new patient exams to convert. You want that, you need that, okay? That's so important, because what that means is that that's not wasted time. That's a conversion every time. And even if they need a little bit more time to decide, book them in for a review, a 10-minute review, just to say hello, just to see what they say. Make sure that you get them back and booked in consistently, because people are very, very poor at calling back if you leave the appointments open-ended. Every single patient who walks out the door should have a new appointment booked in, and that way you'll know that they have the greatest chance of returning to their new patient appointments. And if you do those things, honestly, all of those things in that webinar, gold dust, they will put pounds in your pockets. You'll be able to come wealthier tomorrow. So much of what allows us to generate more money is inside our head. It is massive mindset. I never believed in it until I saw it with my own two eyes. And you know, for me personally, the day that I started employing this stuff was the day that I was able to honestly add an extra few thousand to my pay slip at the end of the month. And that's how useful this information is. Remember, wisdom is not sold by the hour. Wisdom is sold by its value. Wisdom is sold by its usefulness. And the stuff in that webinar today, hyper valuable, hyper useful to every single dentist on the face of this earth. Thank you so much. That was the very first episode of Money Mondays. Looking forward to making this a regular feature, and I will catch everybody next week again for more Money Mondays and information on how you can put more money in your pocket just like that.